Hugh Grant has waged a long-term campaign against the unaccountable power of Britain's press, and this week he gave a pretty powerful summary of his concerns to US show The View.
Newspapers need power, a lot of power, because they're really important to democracy. But, he said pompously, with power comes responsibility. And in Britain, it is a kind of uniquely UK problem. There's no responsibility, and these big newspaper owners, largely non-tax-paying newspaper owners, are living above the law and invading the privacy of people whose kids have been killed in a road accident or whatever to get the sensational article. And no one dares to take them on in Britain because they're so scared of them, especially the politicians. And that's why politicians really, in my country, are chosen by the press. Our Prime Minister is largely chosen by dint of how much he's sucked up to the newspaper barons. So that's what my campaign is about.
This seems like, on the one hand, sort of a campaign by rich, wealthy celebrities. I mean, it does seem like, their privacy was invaded in a way which was unreasonable and unkind, but it's not exactly a priority of mine, the privacy of celebrities. Hugh Grant has combined that point with a critique of sort of the political power of the press and the newspaper barons. And I suppose my question to you, are those distinct problems with the media, or is there a interrelationship between the ability of the newspapers to sort of invade people's privacy and sort of take people's careers down through sort of revelations about them and their political power? Or are they two sort of distinct problems? And I mean, personally, I obviously care more about the political influence than I do about the sort of privacy concerns of celebrities. But are they one and the same complaint, or are they different?
No, I think they're highly interconnected, Michael. If you, for instance, look at things like the scandal with regards to hacked voicemails, often that was used basically for celebrity tittle-tattle. But what it means, Michael, what it points to is that certain outlets in this country think they're above the law. Certain outlets in this country, as Mr. Grant says, overwhelmingly owned by billionaires who don't pay tax and aren't based or reside in the UK, they believe they can make or break people in the public eye as they please. And that applies not just to celebrities like Hugh Grant and a host of others too, but also political figures, none more so than Jeremy Corbyn. We saw that between 2015 and 2019, and even through to today. The Sun, the Daily Mail, they felt they could destroy this man simply because they disagreed with his politics. They could misrepresent who he was. So I think the criticisms being leveled by Hugh Grant matter just as much to top-rank political figures. Now, you might also say, well, what does that mean for the every person, the average Joe? Why should they care? Well, what that does is it means they are less powerful. One of the big criticisms I have about millionaires and billionaires isn't necessarily how much money they make, although I have a big problem with billionaires for sure. How you make that money often directly correlates with working class people missing out and being exploited. But an even bigger problem, I think, potentially, is what that money can buy in the political space. To what extent can a billionaire capture the political class and political influence merely as an outgrowth of their wealth? And that's how we should look at newspapers like The Sun. The Sun is not a newspaper. The Sun is a project of political capture, overseen by a billionaire, not even based in the UK, and it goes under the auspices of being a newspaper and a media project. It's not. It's a lobbying organization. It's a lobbying operation on the behalf and in the interests of Mr. Murdoch, his family, and the people he sees as being on his side, the wealthy, the 0.0001%. So I think it's hugely important, Michael. I think this is one of those rare instances where lovey celebs and the rest of us are very much on the same side. If you believe in one person, one vote, if you believe that taking back control should actually mean something, then we have to oversee a great deal of reform with regards to our newspapers in this country.